Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see a healthy Carson Wentz and the world champion Philadelphia Eagles face off with Jameis Winston in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With that, let's get you over to Raymond James Stadium for the home opener. On the call, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we're about 5 miles northwest of downtown Tampa at beautiful Raymond James Stadium near Florida's Gulf Coast. With the echoes of cannon blast still ringing in our ears, end zone, the Bucs were introduced a moment ago, and they are all set as their guys will do battle with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Godden alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at this Buccaneer ball club. They come in off a loss in the opener last week. That one was on the road. Now they get their first taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd. Great tailgate, great fan support. Let's see if they can put it to good use.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
They go play action here on first down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. He's got it at the 15. A big play there on the first play of the game. 64 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Again, they run with Sims. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
Winston now. The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal. Here's Sims on the run. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by the linebacker, Jordan Hicks. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts.
Down the man inside, down the man.
Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And not much there as he gets it up to about the 5-yard line. It was Jason Pierre-Paul who was able to get him down.
And while they hope to continue this drive, it's really already mission accomplished. They've given enough space now that they have to pump the ball. They've done so with that first run.
Great 15, great 15.
Back near the goal line. Here's Wentz. The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
There are the numbers last week for Jay Ajayi. 15 carries, 55 yards.
And that explosive run right there reminds me that last week ran the ball really well, so they're continuing to do what they did in the previous game, run the ball and run it successfully. Expect that to continue throughout this one.
And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. 3 yards there. Good enough to keep the drive moving.
That's a tremendous group effort there, because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done. And they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they run with Pumphrey. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. They'll run again with Pumphrey. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. That's his longest run of the first quarter. And, Charles, we talked before the game about them needing to establish the run game. They'll be looking for more of that.
And they got to the perimeter. So that tells me that that's part of the game plan of what they want to get done today. So they'll have some complementary runs where he'll run it to the inside. But it appears that when they want the big yardage, they think they can get to the outside and make it happen.
Here's Ajayi. Finding room inside the 40. And down right around the 37. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
Let's go. Lion.
Now they'll throw it. Wentz. Looking for Aguilar, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 21. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, start off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves, maybe reward their defense a little bit. I'll put some points on the board on this one.
It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down. Well, starting drive number 2 off on the right foot. Completion for the first down. Drive 1 is they had to be pretty frustrating because they moved the football. They just didn't get any points out.
But warm-up QB team is bringing the backup. I mean, my goodness, you take them down and you don't score points. You know I'm being totally facetious here, right? I'm just kidding. Nice first drive. Rarely do teams score on every single drive in a game, but they like what they did there. They just hope they can pay it off this time with some points.
Ready? White 25.
The play fake to Sims. Now Winston. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack.
It's a team game, but sometimes individuals do stand out, don't they? How about that for a twofer? Tackle for loss on the running play on the previous down, and then comes right back and gets a sack.
Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long.
Ready? Blue way.
Working out of the gun. Winston under pressure again, and down he goes again. Fletcher Cox. He's the one to get it this time, and back-to-back sacks are going to bring up a 4th down.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Sproles, the return. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Eagles will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a first down. Now a toss play. This is Pumphrey. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
Right back to him on first down. And he's brought down. 12 more yards there and another first down.
That's another nice run, and I have to tell you, some of the coaches that I played for, their philosophies were always different when they see a guy running the ball well. Some of them wanted to immediately go to play action and throw it now because it's wide open. But other coaches said, you know something? Until they stop him, that big boy's going to keep getting the football. And that might be the direction that they're going to go right now.
And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
The Eagles into the red zone for the first time. 1st and 10 right at the 20. Into the red zone. Wentz. Flush to his right. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
On the mark.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. His throw caught right around the 6. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a 1st down. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. 1st and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting. Pick a play you think they would run here and just load up for it and see what happens.
Now Wentz. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdowns scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. And the tackle there by Chris Long.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of 1st downs. Run some plays, run some clock. Allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Second down, Winston. And this one caught by Cameron Brate. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. The Buccaneer first, Winston to Brate.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be...
And Winston lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Now Winston. And Brate has it over the middle. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. The Buccaneers defense, we watch them get set to go. And they gave up a touchdown last drive. You kind of need to hit the reset button after every touchdown given up, Charles.
I love that. And the way that you phrased it is perfect because from series to series, you can reset how the game is going to go. If you gave up a touchdown before, it doesn't mean you have to do it again. And if you made a great play before, you have to reset again anyway because they're going to attack. So I love the way you phrased it and put it out there. That's what they have to do in this series.
It's not like when you're playing a video game. You can't hit the reset button here. Let's go.
No, you shouldn't anyway. That's for sure.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. On the run, it's Pumphrey. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Wentz now to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is...
And that's caught inside the 30. It's a big play. Winston to Evans. 45 yards.
Today's receiver... in the NFL, they're the complete package nowadays. We know they can run, we know they can catch, but they have those big frames now. So oftentimes they just out-physical guys downfield and go up and catch the football. And we saw a big gain as a result on that play.
Ready, black 22.
Now they run with Sims. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
They'll run it again with Sims. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
I'm getting the sense that Fletcher Cox is making offensive linemen want to take the week off when they have to play against him.
It's a regular routine for him, isn't it?
It really is. That play there, that's him all day long. Good luck trying to block him and keep him from disrupting your offense.
This is caught by Jackson. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. From the shotgun, it's Winston. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. A minute 57 to go in this first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll send you cross-state to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have all the stats and all the scores from games going on during another busy Sunday in the National Football League. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. They'll give him a dozen on the pitch and catch, but now they're up against a 3rd and goal.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Jameis to throw it. And Winston lost the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
We'll give some credit to the defense. They forced the big play, knocked the ball free from him, but that's a cardinal sin by the quarterback. Know where you are on the field, and he just gave up at a minimum 3 points.
Instead of getting down, takes the contact. The turnover ensues. Here's a handoff to Ajani to begin the drive. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line to hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. He finds Aguilar over the middle. And they're going to get this one up past the 25. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
Trey 15, Trey 15.
Wentz now on 1st down. And it's incomplete. Ryan Smith right there defensively.
The out route's such a timing route that sometimes the guy throwing the ball just throws it almost blindly, just kind of counts on that timing winning. And in this case, the ball was batted away.
Wentz again here on 2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And now the Bucs deciding to take a timeout defensively, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Play action. Now Wentz. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that's caught inside the 35. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. On 1st down, Wentz steps away to his left. And he takes a shot on the release, as this will be incomplete.
It's nothing like pressure to affect the accuracy and the timing of a guy trying to throw the football. And on that play, they ended up flushing him to his left, contacted him as he's trying to throw the football, and that led to the incompletion.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Wentz will try again on 2nd down. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Again, it's Wentz. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And before this 4th and 3 play, we're going to get whistles and a timeout, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it. They'll go for it. It's Wentz. And this is caught, but they say out of bounds. That would have been a 1st down, but he couldn't stay in, and as a result, they're going to have to give up the football. Well, you feel the excitement build on those 4th down plays. Defense has to stay out there, but for the offense, when that thing doesn't work out, such disappointment.
It can absolutely be a deflator, but how about the defensive guys? If they stop you on 4th down, they are absolutely elevated going to their bench.
They're elevated now. Big stop on 4th down. And he'll get this one up to the 26. And now a timeout defensively after that 1st down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
On second down, here's Wentz. Incomplete to Zach Ertz. First catch for the Eagles' leading receiver from a year ago. It's a first down.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
Now it's a drive. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Stop made there by Gerald McCoy.
Gerald McCoy is always going to be linked with Ndamukong Suh. They came into the NFL in the same draft class. There was a lot of debate about who was going to be the better defensive tackle. They just do it two different ways. McCoy, more movement, more elusiveness. That allowed him to make the play there for a short gain.
Wentz trying to lay one up deep. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's third.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and pressure advantage.
The Eagles on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. They fake the give. Now Wentz. Gonna look deep for Jeffrey. That's caught inside the 20. And he gets this down deep into Tampa Bay territory. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, it's easy to make a case that Alshon Jeffrey loves to run the post pattern. And the guy throwing the ball to him loves him running it. Right in his sight lines, great catch radius. He can stick the ball up there, and he can go out and get it.
And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
They get it to him running left. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. Now Wentz, eluding the pressure right. And they're going to get to him, a sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line.
3rd and goal, they decided to throw for it, but how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open, left him nowhere to go with the football, had to absorb the sack.
And Elliott puts this one through. And the lead moves to 10-zip. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Now Jameis on second down. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Fletcher Cox in there to record another sack, their 6th of the afternoon.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. Now Winston, a dump off to Sims. And down he'll go at the 25. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that's going to make it 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, add that play to his resume reel because he went to the Pro Bowl last year. That's how you go to the Pro Bowl. You make plays like that, big-time penetration, and throw people for losses.
Ertz has it left side. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain.
81.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Mitch Unrein able to get in there and take him down for a loss of 3. And they weren't in zone coverage, they were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a defensive player of the year at the other, and they just locked people down.
And nothing doing here is this time the run maybe gets them back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
On 3rd and long, it's Wentz. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. On the NFL scoreboard, 3rd quarter now in Lambeau. Now you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. They go play action here on 1st down. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. A very solid gain of 27. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator is looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work when.
Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Fletcher Cox in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Throwing. Winston. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. They stop him after a gain of only 4, and that brings up fourth down.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. I'm talking about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Now Philadelphia ready to get going on offense again. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. Now a play fake. Wentz. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Now he's going to let it go deep left side. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, he decided to air it out a little bit on that play, take a shot downfield, but the coverage was really nice, able to get a hand in and tip it away.
The Eagles send out their punter now, standing just outside his own goal line. Here's Jackson. Back now in Tampa. It's Buccaneer football, but they've got work to do. They find themselves behind here to start the 4th quarter. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 46. A first down throw for Winston. And Winston lost the football. So they... escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. Exactly right. A lost opportunity.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Over the middle to Evans. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? take whatever you want underneath by all means.
Here's Brian Anger now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. But where have we seen this before? This might be shades of Super Bowl 52, Charles. Eagles up by a score in the fourth quarter, needing to run some clock.
Yeah, and they don't need to take that much off here. And think about it this way. Different quarterback under center with the one you're thinking about.
Yeah, Nick Foles under center, Super Bowl 52 here, Carson Wentz. But in Super Bowl 52, they took over 7 minutes off the clock.
They certainly did, and they really ground it down and stuck it in the end zone.
Great.
Now Wentz throwing on second down. Completes it to Aguilar. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Wentz now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Throwing on first is Wentz. Going for the deep ball. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Pass interference. Defense.
So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
This is a Johnny, and he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. And this situation with a lead, fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. Now Wentz on 3rd down. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to, you and your brothers, just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
Those really long field goals, when they are made, they are things of beauty, but there is a danger to getting them started, isn't there?
Yeah, with that low drive, you've got to really keep it low to the ground, don't you, to get that distance.
Yeah, hard to just pop it up in the air because otherwise it's not going to get there. So he's got to drive it low in order to have the distance, and that usually puts it in jeopardy, gives him a chance to block it, and everyone knows it on the other side. That's when you get your best jumpers on the other side of the field and try and get up and get it.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. 3rd and long for Winston. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. That one doesn't find its target, but all in all, he's been much sharper this week. He was under 50% a week ago, and now he's up over 70%.
Well, you know it's standard for quarterbacks and receivers getting together for a little extra time each and every day in practice. I get the sense they got together for a lot of extra time this week to try and improve that passing percentage, and it's worked out quite well.
Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and the Eagles will have it taking over 1st and 10. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Wentz now on 1st down. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Mike Daniels able to get in and run him down for what will be a loss of 15 yards.
Brandon, more often than not, you'd say they've had his number, and we can count them up so far. 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks given up. But guess what? He's still been able to make some plays, and right now they have a lead.
82, 82.
Back near the goal line. Here's Wentz. Wide open receiver complete. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he's got room. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Mike Wallace, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Eagles add 6 to their lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Elliott now to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his legs to keep him warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. And the quick slant gets exactly 10, and by the nose of the football, they've got a 1st down. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Jameis to throw it. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. So after the INT, here's Wentz. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. Jason Pierre-Paul in there to sack him for a loss of 6. JPP did it all those years with the Giants. New uniform, same result.
Yeah, he shows he's still got it, doesn't he? Remember, he had 58.5 sacks during his time with the Giants. A great acquisition for Tampa Bay.
Now Wentz. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. John Simon in there to drop him, and back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
A look at Jameis Winston now as he gears up to lead this offense again. With his guys trailing here in the 4th, he can ill afford a repeat of the interception that ended the last drive.
Yeah, you're 2 scores down. You take it upon yourself now to play perfect or near-perfect football if you want to get your team back into the game. But it's also tough to do when you're trying to avoid errors, yet still play perfect football.
A very nice pickup of 33 yards. The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's a quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally, and they usually bounce back in a big way. I've seen guys throw 5 and still find a way to win the game in the end.
Holding offense.
Well, there have been a ton of sacks.
Still first.
They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. The play fake to Sims. Now Winston. And Boyd has it over the middle. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. To throw, Winston. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And they got it inside the 10 at the 8. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. They'll throw again. Winston. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal. To throw is Winston. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high-percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, you get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
And the Eagles are going to go ahead and take another timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And the Eagles dodge a bullet. They cover it up. A tough one there. They certainly wanted that when they needed it, but they didn't absolutely have to get it. They still do have 3 timeouts.
You're exactly right. They had to attempt it. But even though they didn't get it, as you noted, with 3 timeouts, if they can get these stops on defense, all hope is not lost.
They run with Ajayi. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. And now the Bucs deciding to take a timeout defensively as they stop it here with 1:07 remaining.
Let's go, let's go. Kill. Sunday. 46 down, man, 5-4.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Now the Buccaneers go ahead and take another timeout as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game.
Let's go, great. Lion. Kill.
And they'll run it here. And down inside the 15 he goes. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game.
Let's go. Kill. Get over there. Go.
And they'll go on the ground. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. I'm no offensive mastermind, but of all the guys on the field to block, you might want to stop him.
I got a very simple rule. An unblocked defender is usually your best defender, and he ended up making the play there.
It'll go as a gain of 12, and that should just about wrap this one up. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Jay Ajayi, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles add on to their lead. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and should work better and try and execute that on the way out the door.
He's got a man complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. And give him a gain of 37. And the spike comes with 9 seconds left to go. And that one is incomplete, and now we're inside of 10 seconds. Just 9 remain. Now a second down throw for Winston. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. One last shot now for Winston. And he's going to go down again. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. Well, Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is, because, let's face it, in most cases, you're not expected to go on the road and win in the National Football League. It just doesn't usually compute. So to get out there, get that done, and then head back to your city with one in the victory column, oh, that's a fantastic feeling.
So for Philadelphia, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll return home next week to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Meanwhile, for the Bucs, they'll drop to 0-2, and they'll look to get back on the beam next week as they host the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.
Wow.